everyone, welcome back to Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. My name is Stacy. I have another Valentine's Day project here to show you. It is a Dollar Tree DIY. Things you're going to need are, you're going to need something round, and it could be one of several things. You could use one of these 3D wreath forms, you know, that makes the ball that I showed you in my Dollar Tree haul. I would take it apart and just use one ring. Or you could use one of the small wreath forms from the Dollar Tree. And you could also use an embroidery hoop if you wanted to do that. I'm going to choose to use one of these small wreath frames. They are 8 inches and they come in a pack of 2 from the Dollar Tree. I was going to use this, but I decided for what I'm going to make, this will make it a little bit easier to hang. So what I'm planning on making is like a Valentine's Day mobile type thing. So here's the rest of what you're going to need. I have one of these 5-heart hangers from the Dollar Tree, and I have several spools of this ribbon. Now, it came from Michael's clearance on those $4 grab bags last year after Valentine's Day. But you can also get similar ribbon at the Dollar Tree. And some of the ribbon I'm using is from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm also going to be using some Dollar Tree lace. Okay, so this is just the off-white, kind of cream color off-white. And this is what I'll be using to tie the hanger onto the form. And I've taken all my ribbons and I've cut them into 6-inch pieces. And the way I did that was I just used one of these packs of artist canvas from the Dollar Tree, and I just wrapped it around and around and around and around until the spool was gone, and then I just clipped both ends. And that was easier than measuring each piece and cutting. So that's what I did. Okay, so I'm going to first start with these. I don't want to use the glitter. I just don't want it glittered. The glitter comes off on things and it just gets messy. So what I need to do is take these off, and they're just on with some tape and a piece of ribbon is how they're tied together. And we will be decorating both sides of the heart, and I have something new I want to try, and we'll see how it works. So take all of your parts apart. It comes off pretty easily, but if the tape tears and it sticks, you got to pull that off too. Okay. And if you just pull from the ribbon, it comes up pretty easily. Okay. Now my next step, I've put my hearts onto a piece of wax paper, and I've gotten some of the matte finish Mod Podge from the Dollar Tree. And instead of taking the time to scrape all of the glitter off, I'm going to seal it in with Mod Podge, and hopefully that will level out the surface, and I'll be able to Mod Podge over the top of it with some paper, and that won't be as noticeable. Now I'm okay though if the polka dots kind of show through. I think it might look kind of nice, but I just don't want it to be all glittery. So to prep the pieces for the Mod Podge, I'm just wiping them with the baby wipe just to get off any loose glitter. And there's a lot of it on there. This one especially, I'm just kind of going to blot. There's a lot of glitter in the middle of these that doesn't really need to be on there. Okay, just kind of wipe off some of the glitter. And then I'm just going to take my Mod Podge and put a little puddle in the middle. And this is just to seal all the glitter in. I'm not trying to get puddles forming on the edges, not worrying about the edges too terribly much. I just really want to seal in that glitter. Alright, so this needs to dry, and it might need a second coat. I'll have to check it once it's dry. So I'm going to set these to the side, and then we can get on with the next part of the project. Okay, while those are drying, I'm going to start tying on the ribbons. I have some burlap with polka dots. It's got polka dots on one side, it's plain on the other. White with different colored glittery hearts. Red with white hearts, and then I've got some sheer pink. And I'm just going to start tying them on all the way around. So it makes kind of like a rag wreath kind of a thing. And I'm going to try to do it in a pattern, although I don't know if I have enough of everything to do the pattern I want. Okay, so I am going to double knot it. So I'm going to start with a burlap. And I will trim up all of these pieces after I've tied them all. And I'm going to scoot them pretty close together. And I'm just simply tying them on. And I'm going to fill up the edge of the wreath. And I have the most of the red and the white, so I'm going to do 2 of those. I have several spools of the red and the white that I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with it. You can definitely make these pieces smaller. Just having them larger makes them easier to tie. And so I'm just kind of getting that junky, raggy ribbon. You want to alternate your knots so that the ribbons go every which way and that they squish kind of tight together. So you don't have knot, 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 knot. You kind of rotate it just a little, and that sends the ribbon tails off in a different direction as well. Okay, so that's what I've got so far. I'll come back and show you once I get the first section done. It's divided into 4 sections, and then it'll give you an idea of how many pieces of ribbon you need, and I'll be able to give you an idea of how much I have used along the way. So again, this is the 8-inch ribbon form, or wreath form, sorry, from the Dollar Tree, and it comes in a 2-pack. So once I get that finished up and the Mod Podge dries up, I'll come back and show you the next steps. I'm back with the first section done. Here's what the back side of it looks like. And I just scooted the knots really close together, kind of rocking them back and forth. So one knot is up, one knot is down, one knot is up, one knot is down. And it gives me this ruffly ribbon wreath. Now, excuse me, for the pattern that I did for this, I started with a piece of burlap, then I went red, white, red, white, red, white, and then I tied in a pink. Then red, white, red, white, red, white, and then back to burlap, and the pattern repeats. Sorry. And I did that 1, 2, 3, 4 times to get one section. Okay, so you need this times 4 per section, or times 16 for the whole wreath. So you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's do the math. Okay, so I did the math. So it takes 14 pieces to make 1 repetition of the pattern. So if you did a similar pattern to mine, you would need 16 pieces of burlap, 16 pieces of pink, and 96 pieces of red, and 96 pieces of white, for a total of 224 pieces of ribbon to complete this wreath form. Okay, so that gives you some sort of idea. Now, like I say, this isn't costing me much because all this ribbon came in the $4 grab bag clearances from Michaels. So if you don't have ribbon available or in your stash, or you don't have funds to buy it, I'm going to show you another option that might work for you. At Hobby Lobby, this is my ribbon box. At Hobby Lobby, they have this bag of ribbon, and it is only $1.99, and it's all these bits and pieces of ribbon. And usually their colors are pretty seasonal. This was a batch that I got during the spring last year, so, and I've used quite a bit of it. But what it is 15 different ribbons, 2 yards each, so a total of 30 yards of ribbon for $1.99. And if you use a 40% off coupon, it comes to about $1.30-ish, $1.40, which is a steal for ribbon. These are usually on it at my Hobby Lobby anyway, In the fabric section, they're on an end cap where all the bulk ribbon is, where you buy it off the spool. And they're usually hanging down low to the ground. And they usually have several different color combos. And so just kind of sort through. If you don't see everything you like, then go back in a couple of weeks or a few days and they'll put more out. And each time they put one more out, it's been different. So that is a really good way to get a bunch of little pieces of ribbon that you can use for projects like this. Another thing I do at Hobby Lobby, see if I have any in here. They often put their little tiny spools over in the scrapbooking section. These little tiny spools, they put them on clearance for 25 cents. And this is, well, it says how long it is underneath of the, this is 4 feet for 25 cents. Okay. And then sometimes you can find a multi-pack of these. I've seen these at Joann's and at Hobby Lobby. It's by American Crafts. And just depending on how much is in the bag, how much it'll cost. But that's a pretty economical way to get ribbon as well. Okay. So that's my 2 cents worth on ribbon. And lots of different ways that you can get inexpensive ribbon. Dollar Tree also has quite a few ribbon choices. I don't know how many of them are Valentine's themed, but that's a good place to check too. Now, if you have to buy 8, 9, 10 spools of ribbon at the Dollar Tree, that's going to make your wreath $10 plus the frame and plus the other things you want to put on it. So this is a costly project unless you have ribbon in your stash or you can find some economical ways. Another way you could do this is to use fabric and cut it into strips and tie it on, and that would be considerably less. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish tying these on, and I will come back when I'm done. Okay, before I take the time to finish tying the ribbons onto my wreath form, I'm going to show you what it's looking like. And I'm really liking this for being a wreath instead of the mobile I was talking about making. So I think I'm going to switch my idea. In the middle of the game, I do that sometimes, you guys know that. And I'll show you how I'm going to change it up just a little bit. I'm going to leave exactly how I've got it, finish it out, and then I'm going to finish these 2 inside rings here. I have an idea and I hope it works. The way I was going to do it for a mobile is I was going to take the lace and attach it to the inner circle of wire and take 3 pieces and tie it up so that it made like a triangle in the middle. And then I was going to hang the 5 hearts off of it. But I got to looking at the corner of my craft room and I really don't have a place to hang it, but I do have a place where I need a little wreath. So I am going to switch up and make this a wreath instead of a mobile like I had mentioned at the beginning. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm only going to be using 1 of the hearts instead of all 5. So I've got a piece of paper out of this pad. It's by my Mind's Eye and it's called Well Hello. And I purchased this for $6.99 at Tuesday morning. So I don't know if they still have that in, or I don't even know if it's Joann's or Hobby Lobby that sells my Mind's Eye. I pulled out this like gingham check pink, and I'm going to cover 1 of the hearts with it. And the Mod Podge that I put on here sealed that glitter in really nicely. I can rub my hand on it and none of the glitter is coming off. So 1 coat of Mod Podge is all I did. If I wanted it to be really smooth, if I was going to cover it with a napkin, I would put another coat of Mod Podge and really lay it on thick on the non-glittery spots so it would help level it out. But this is what I'm going to do for this. Okay, I'm going to kind of place my heart where I want it, and I'm going to cut. See, I want that line to go up the middle kind of straight. So I'm going to go ahead and cut around, and I don't usually do this because I think it wastes too much paper, but I really want that middle line to be going up the middle. So I'm going to place my heart, getting the point and the dip on there, and I'm going to snip the line. That will show me where that line is so that I can get it straight when I go to Mod Podge. Because when I'm Mod Podging, I'm going to be working on the back side of the paper. Okay, so I like to put a good thick coat of Mod Podge on the piece that I'm working on. And this is going to be a challenge because of the scallops. I'm hoping I can get the edges off nicely because this is kind of a cardstock, thin cardstock paper, and a napkin would actually be way easier, but it wouldn't show, it wouldn't cover up all those parts, all those marks and things that we're trying to show up. So I'm, or that we're not trying to show up, that we're trying to eliminate. So I've got this, and I'm going to flip my heart over face down while it's good and wet and I can move it around. I'm finding my center snips and I'm lining it up. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to grab my brayer tool and I'm going to roll it out. Now, if you wanted to continue on and make this into a mobile, you absolutely could, but you need to do something to both sides of the heart because you're going to see both sides of it. Okay, this heart's kind of warping, so I hope that it will be okay. I'm going to grab a tissue here, and I'm just going to kind of wipe the excess that's puddled up off because I need to be able to get into all those nooks and crannies within that scallop when I get the paper off. So I'm just kind of blotting the extra out because it's like puddling in each of the little scallop areas. I just need to set that aside to dry and get back to tying, and I'll be back when I'm ready for the next step. Okay, so I have my wreath completely wrapped tied with the ribbon, and I'm really liking how it's turning out. This is why I wanted to use it as a wreath instead of as the top of a mobile. As the top of a mobile, it would still look really cute. If you want to make it into a mobile, you go right ahead and do that. But I want to make this into a wreath because I have the perfect place to put this in my cubicle at work. Problem with this being a wreath is it's going to sit like this and you're going to see these wires in here. So remember those ribbon packages I showed you a little bit ago from Hobby Lobby? I happen to have 3 pieces of this pink, so that's 6 yards. I was looking for a particular ribbon over the summer and I bought several packages that were very similar, and I happened to get several pieces of this pink. It is like a buffalo check ribbon. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work from the back side because I just think that will be easier. And I'm going to wrap both of these wires with this ribbon. So what I'm going to do is on one of these cross sections is I'm going to tie a knot so that it stays put. And I'm not going to leave very much of a tail on it, so I'm getting it down as close as I can and still be able to make my fingers work. This would have been much easier to do before I tied on all of these other ribbons, but when I first started, I thought I was doing something totally different. So this is going to take a little bit, and I'm just going to wrap it around to cover up these green wires. And I'm going to wrap both sections at the same time. So I'm trying to come under all of that ribbon ruffle that's up there. And I've got my hot glue gun heating so that I can tack it every couple of turns. And it's just going to take some patience. And hopefully 6 yards will be more than enough ribbon to wrap this with. So you don't need to sit here for an hour and watch me do this. So I will finish it off camera and come back and show you what it is when I'm done. Alright, I finished wrapping the inside thing. It only took 2 yards of ribbon. I have this much ribbon left over, about 5 inches or so. So it didn't take nearly as much as I thought it would. Now when I look at it from the front and I see a bright pink, or a nice pink ring in there instead of wires. Now I need to finish up This is cute just like it is, but now I need to finish up my Mod Podge heart. And you all know how I've done that. You just get the sandpaper and start sanding. So I'm going to cut this as close as I can. Buy these packs of sandpaper at the Dollar Tree. I like to get as rough one as I can. 80 grit's the best, but it only comes with about one sheet of that. This is 80 grit. So what I'm going to do is sanding from the front to the back, never from the back to the front, because that will pick up the paper off of the piece that you're doing. You're going to just sand it away. I think this is going to take a little bit of time, so I'll be right back. Okay, it took me about 10 minutes to sand the scallops on the heart. I would recommend, to get in these nooks and crannies, I should have done a little bit better job. I would recommend using like a fingernail file. Don't use your favorite one because it's going to wear it out. So just grab a cheap package from the Dollar Tree and then you can get into all those little nooks and crannies a lot faster. So that's my scalloped heart, and I think it's really cute. And I like how I got the lines to line up. And now I have this metal word that says love. It's also from the Dollar Tree. Comes in a 3-pack. They did the Christmas words, they did the autumn words, and when I was there today they had spring words and Easter words. Now here we've got love, XOXO, and Valentine. Valentine is too big, and XOXO works for hugs and kisses, or kisses and hugs, but I like the word love, so I'm going to use that one. And I like to use this gel super glue from the Dollar Tree to attach metal words. So I'm going to flip it over, and when I have it on there it overlaps just a little bit, so I'm not going to do the tail of the E or the tail of the L. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to put a couple of dots in the high spots. I want it to stick down well, but I don't need to use a ton. If you use a ton, it's going to take forever to dry. As it is, this glue only takes about 10 minutes, and I am going to have it going at an angle because I just think that's cute. And I'm going to push it down. Whoops. Okay. You could also hot glue it on, but sometimes hot glue doesn't always work on metal. Okay, it's sticking. These hearts are a little bit warped, so got to make sure I get it down there good. Alright, and the next thing I need to do is figure out how to hang this. Remember that little scrap I had left over of ribbon? I'm going to figure out what I want the top of my wreath to be, and I'm going to loop that ribbon around. I'm just looping it right over what I already covered, and I'm going to put a little spot of hot glue to hold that together. Using my finger protection. And then I'm going to just hot glue it to the back of the heart so it will hang. So I need to hold this up for just a second and decide where it needs to hit so that it hangs right. And I'm just going to put a little spot of glue right there, and I'm going to glue it on to that little loop. Hold it down with my hot glue protector. Okay. So now I've got that hanging in the center. I'm going to use some of this ribbon that I had from before. And I'm just going to feed it through. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to glue this hanger piece onto the back, onto that ribbon that I wrapped. Because I want it to come up. Okay. And then I'm going to figure out how long I want my ribbon hanger to be. And I'm just kind of guessing at it. And I'm going to bring it from the front side of the wreath to the back side. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there. And stick it down. Now I have a wreath that will hang. And I'm thinking that I might need to take this other piece of ribbon I'm leaving the ribbon doubled over so that I have more than one piece. And okay, so these pieces are two yards long, I think is what it said. This is from that ribbon sack. 2 yards each. So this is a 2-yard piece of ribbon. I've found the center of my hanger. I've doubled over that ribbon so it's about a yard long, and I tied a knot in the middle. Now I'm going to just take my protection thing off. I'm going to tie a bow. Okay, just like you're tying your shoes. Fluff that double loop out, and then I need to clip where it was folded so that I have a tail. And now I have a ribbon bow at the top. Alright, there you have it, my finished wreath. Sorry I changed plans in the middle and didn't finish making it into a mobile like I had talked about at the beginning, but you can simply do that by just tying the hearts on, pretty on both sides, and let them hang, and do the same kind of hanger, but from the top pulling up. So this has been my Valentine's ribbon scrap wreath. Let me know what you think of it in the comment section below, and if you might be doing one of these for yourself. Do check the description box below, and I will do the math and tell you exactly how much ribbon you need for each color if you do the same color scheme as I do, or you can change it up. Yeah, I'm sure you can figure that out. Alright, this has been Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.